be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's the deal? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday. Hope you all are doing well. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. I hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this food, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. Today we got a homemade po' boy sandwich. Let's get to it because this is my only meal today. That's all I had today. You see that look good? Got the little crunch. We got pickles. We got the remoulade. I don't know how you say it. Tomatoes, all of that. Everything is homemade. I was gonna put arugula on it, but I put a spring mix on it instead. And we have it on a baguette. This is a gluten-free baguette. So, all right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get this first bite in. I love the tanginess of the sauce. Also, one more thing, y'all. This is meatless. This is an oyster mushroom. I used the oyster mushroom instead of shrimp. That's what I was going to use at first. Okay. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. I have a cooking tutorial in this video if you'd like as well. Another thing that was different about the mushrooms, I didn't fry them. I actually cooked them in the oven. So there was no oil used. So I make this like a pretty healthy po' boy. A healthy alternative, you know what I'm saying? Salt and vinegar potato chips. I love me some kettle corn chips. They are so good. I love that crunch. Y'all, it is Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? I don't know how we got here. It happened way too fast. Look at a mess. That sauce is really good. We got a lot of good stuff in there. Some hot sauce. It's Miracle Whip. Garlic. Got both of my seasonings in there. The jalapeno garlic pepper and Cajun lemon pepper. Side note, I will be restocked January 1st. If you have not purchased the seasons, if you want to re-up, that's coming in a few days. I'm hungry, y'all. I haven't eaten all day, and it is like, it's almost 8 o'clock at night. I haven't eaten all day. Been running around, trying to get situated since I'm back home, y'all. I just got back home from the DMV area. Y'all making a mess. Oh, my God. I was in the DMV area. I had some work to do, but also got to see Bae. So shout out to all the other that came through to hang out with us on the 2 lives that we did together. And if you don't know who Bae is, just check the last 2 lives. You guys will get a chance to meet Laura. This sauce is so good. Like, it's so interesting. It's other stuff I want to try it on. Like, this would be a good dipping sauce. That's good. I love the smokiness of the paprika. So, today, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all 2 stories. They're not gonna be super long, but they're just relevant to what I was thinking about as I was preparing for the video. Do I look ashy? If I'm ashy, y'all, let's just chop it up, because my skin, I cannot figure out what is up on my skin. It is so dry. Nothing hydrates my skin. Nothing. I've tried it all. You name it, I've tried it. So I don't know. If y'all got any other suggestions, let me know, because I've been trying all kind of butters, all kind of this, all kind of that, Aveeno. You name it, I tried it. My skin is just so dry in the wintertime. Oh my God. It's annoying. Anyway, 2 story times. About relationships. About like how important it is to maintain relationships. I was thinking about that as I was like reflecting. And just how your relationships can really come through for you sometimes. Like when certain opportunities come up, they can really help you in a bind. You know what I mean? So that's what these story times are about. I thought about that. So I'm gonna take y'all back. This is 2017. So before I had my foot injury at my job in 2017, I remember somebody had sent me this list of like jobs and companies and stuff. And one of the jobs was to be a segment producer for Twitter, you know, for the social media platform. They were creating a talk show, and they needed a segment producer to come on and help. You know, I looked at the requirements. I kind of fit, kind of didn't. I'm going to say it was about 10 requirements. I checked off about 3 of them, but I went for it anyway. So I applied for the job, and I didn't think I was going to get an interview, honestly, because I didn't really check off a whole lot of boxes, but I went for it, you know. So I'm at work one day, and, you know, I'm dressed because of the dress code at work. I was dressed for an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was professional the way that I was dressed because of the dress code. So I get an email from this agency, and they're like, hey, we want you to come in and interview for this Twitter position. Now, mind y'all, the days that they gave me just would not work for my schedule, so I essentially had to like go the same day. They were like, we know it's last minute. We have a couple of slots next week, which wouldn't have worked for my schedule, but if you can make it today, be here by 3. So this is probably like 9 in the morning. I respond back like, yeah, I could be there. Y'all, I'm nervous as hell. Because I'm like, this would have been a significant increase in money. And it would have been like the biggest opportunity of my career. And it would have more so aligned with what I wanted to do in terms of like filmmaking and entertainment. Because at the time, I was working at a healthcare company, right? So I'm like, ooh, this is a huge opportunity. I'm like, damn. But like, I feel like I needed some prep. Like I needed somebody to like hold my hand, because I'm like, what do I do? What kind of questions they're going to ask? You know what I'm saying? Because like coming from like traditional corporate jobs into like entertainment, I feel like the questions and stuff would be a lot different. And I hadn't really interviewed or had a formal interview in like the entertainment or producing type of capacity, right? So I'm nervous. So I hit my god brother, and y'all met Antoine. So I hit my god brother, I tell him about this opportunity. He goes, you know, Rhonda, what time are you going to be leaving? Let me know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, I'm going to have to walk out of not walk out of the job, but I told him I was leaving for the day, wasn't feeling well. So I left like around, I think lunchtime. My lunchtime was at 12, so I went ahead and left, which gave me more than enough time to get to, you know what I'm saying, the address where the interview was going to be held. It was LA, so I had to account for LA traffic. And yeah, so I left at like 12. So I had to catch the train, get to my car, take my car, come through LA, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole lot going on. So 3 hours was more than enough time for me to get this done. So I tell Antoine, I'm going to take lunch. I'm going to leave like around 12. He was like, all right, cool. Call me when you are on your way to the train. So I'm like, cool, you know, whatever. I called him. I call him, and he goes, how you feeling? I was like, dog, I'm nervous. Like, I'm usually really good at interviews. Like, I wasn't necessarily worried about the interview itself. I think it was just more so processing that this was like really along the lines of something that I wanted to do. So, and I wasn't prepared. Like, I wasn't ready to interview that day. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the nerves was coming from. Like, I wasn't ready to interview that day. So I called Antoine. Like I said, we're on the phone. And he's like, hold on, let me call somebody real quick that can probably, like, you know, help you through this. I have no idea who he's calling. I'm like, but I'll take anything at this point. So, because Antoine is in fashion. Y'all know he's in fashion. He was like, hold on, let me call somebody real quick. So Antoine clicks over, comes back. I hear a woman's voice. And it's one of his friends. His friend at the time, she was a producer for the Wendy Williams show. One of the producers at the Wendy Williams show. And I was like, yo, like, hey, how's it going? And me and her, I want to say, I think we had met before or talked before or something like that, but we weren't friends. So he puts her on the phone and we're talking. And she's asking me about this role at Twitter, the exact role. And she just starts laying it out for me, what the expectations are going to be, what kind of questions they're going to ask. And I'm taking notes. My train is coming, but y'all, I had to pull my notebook out of my bag. I didn't have time to even get on the train. I had to pull my notebook out to start taking notes down. Because she is dropping gems, okay? And, you know, she's on a tight schedule, so I don't want to be like, can you say it again? Repeat it again? What was that? Say it again. So I start taking notes. And I just can't believe how she's just dropping this information from me. She's like, okay, is there anything else I can help you with? I'm like, nah, that's perfect. She was like, I wish you the best. You know, I think that you're going to be great. You know, they called you for a reason. Like, they were just pouring all this positive words and energy into me. And I was just like, it really helped me to settle my nerves. You know what I'm saying? But that you know, him being able to pick up the phone like that and call her was, well, me calling him was a part of our relationship. And you know what I'm saying? Him using his connections in his relationship to call someone that can help me. You get what I'm saying? So, like, relationships can really help you significantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not why you have people in your life. But if there is somebody that can help answer some questions for you or clear the pathway for you or get you a meeting or whatever, like, don't be afraid to do that, especially if you're not using nobody. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you are here using people, that's different. You know what I mean? Like, I nurture my relationships because I love the people that are in my life, the people that I have chose to be part of my life. And, you know, just because Antoine is my god brother also doesn't mean he owes me anything. But we have a good relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, we nurture the relationship, we look out for each other, and we've always done that. So this wasn't anything out the norm, but I was just really grateful that that relationship helped me. Now, a little bit about this interview. I get there, I interview y'all. The young woman, the woman who helped me, Antoine's friend, her preparation was significant. A lot of the things she told me they would ask me, they did. Let me tell y'all the one part where I failed, though. At the time, I wasn't really on Twitter like that. And I was familiar with Twitter. I used to be a heavy Twitter user at one point, but at that point, I was not. Get to the interview, we laughing, we telling stories. It's all women. It's like women empowerment. You know, they telling me about the job. You know, it's going to be a talk show on Twitter. You're going to talk about, you know, pop culture and yada, yada, yada. All of that, right? The one question they asked me I could not answer. Completely bombed, y'all. They were like, so, what are some big celebrity, you know, popular Twitter accounts do you follow? Y'all, who did I say? I think I said Rihanna, Issa Rae, Jessica Chastain, which was random as hell. But I like her, but it was just random. I said those 3 accounts, y'all, and I couldn't think of nothing else. I couldn't say nobody else. Could nobody else come to mind? You know what I'm saying? I literally could have named any celebrity, and more than likely they had a Twitter account. But I just bombed it, y'all. I named all 3 accounts, and they were like, oh, yeah? Oh, great. Great. Thanks so much, Rhonda. I knew it was a wrap after that. Like, the fact that I couldn't answer a question about, like, what are some of the accounts you follow and why and yada, yada, yada. I hung myself at that point. But I will say that relationship with Antoine really helped me prepare for it and be able to knock the questions out the park. I know that for sure. Like, without a doubt, I answered the questions. I did an exceptional job answering the questions for sure, you know? So, anyway, didn't work out in my favor. Didn't hear back from them. But that's cool though. I'm so glad that I gave myself a chance. I'm glad that I didn't say no. You know, I'm glad that I left work early to, you know, see what was up. To see if I could potentially get this producing job. And it was a big time producing job. Like, that would have been significant, but it wasn't for me, you know? And I'm cool with that. I wasn't bitter about it. I was just more so excited that I gave myself a chance. All right, y'all. So now, this is later in 2017. That oyster mushroom was good. This is later in 2017. So now I have a foot injury and I'm off work. And I'm at home watching TV, writing, sleeping, eating. That's really it. That's all I'm doing. I get a call one day from Janine. You guys know Janine. If you don't know her, she's my mentor, one of my friends as well. That really showed me a lot. She showed me the ropes for like 3 years. And she called me one night and was like, Rhonda, you know, I'm working on this project. It's a project for Zane. And I was like, word? She's like, yeah, you know, I'm supposed to be working on it, whatever. And, you know, I may need your help with some stuff. And I was like, well, shit, if you need my help, I'm available. You know what I'm saying? So if you need me, give me a call. So the fact that she thought about me meant a lot to me. But, you know, whatever. Like, I wasn't just sitting up waiting by the phone for her to call. I was just like, if she need me, she'll call. So a couple days go by. Janine calls me. She goes, all right, Rhonda, I realized that, you know, we want somebody to take a look at this project and these scripts for Purple Panties. It was a scripted podcast created by Zane. So shout out to that podcast. And if you guys want to listen to an erotic podcast, y'all go check it out. But she was like, you know, I feel like maybe you can consult or help produce or whatever. We basically need somebody to look at this for accuracy, just to make sure that everything is good and that it's on point. You know what I'm saying? That we're telling the right stories. And she was like, who other than you? Like, duh, like you in the LGBTQ community. So, you know, what's up? Can you help me? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, of course I can help you. What do you need me to do? She was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna send you the scripts. I need you to review them, read them, you know, write down notes, and, you know, give me feedback. Like, how is it looking? Is it on point? Is it accurate? You know, is it telling the right stories? Does it make sense? Is anything offensive? Like, I had to go through and read these 10 scripts and take notes. And take notes and give my personal feedback based on my expertise in the community, right? And I was like, yo, this is dope. So I'm reading the scripts. I go through everything. And I give my notes about what could be different, what's good, what's kind of missing the mark. And then, of course, revisions and stuff were made and yada, yada, that whole thing. It goes through the whole process, right? And I also ended up getting a chance to become a music supervisor as well. Because Janine was like, all right, Rhonda, if this is a lesbian story, we should have some lesbian artists as well, some lesbian, musicians. Do you know any? I'm like, of course I do. So Janine was like, all right, cool. You music supervising. You're going to do the supervision. I was like, what? Had no idea what I was doing. But I felt comfortable because Janine would show me the ropes. She would answer all my questions or whatever. So I learned how to do music supervision on this project, contacting artists, contracts, this and that, and answering questions and all that kind of stuff, right? So at the end of it, the podcast gets produced. It comes out. It was a success, and it felt so good, y'all, to hear my name in the end as a consulting producer and also as a music supervisor, because I just never saw that coming. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, I was open to whatever would come my way, but it never would have happened had I not had that relationship with Janine. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Janine were in a great standing, and we still are today. What up, Janine, if you happen to watch? It's just our relationship. Like, relationships can really take you far in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I never really understood that notion when I was younger, but I get it now. Like, I totally get it. Just like, if there's ever anything I could do for my friends, I would do it in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? It's like, absolutely, the way that you show up for me, the way that you look out for me, the way that you listen to me, the way you give me sound advice, you keep me accountable. Of course, of course I will do, you know, call in a favor for you. Why not? Of course I will, with no questions asked. And that's just how it is. So I thought about that, like how important that is. And I'm just thinking about it as I make more progress in my life and move further and further and deeper into my purpose, like how I'm going to have to leverage my relationships for certain things that come up, and how I can't be shy about it. You know what I'm saying? I cannot bite my tongue if I know somebody that knows somebody that can help make a connection for me. You know, because I'm thinking about the things that happened with those 2 stories I just told y'all. Like, yeah. So to y'all out there, if you know somebody, one of your friends, and sometimes it may even be an associate, but you guys have a good standing, you guys have a great understanding, you guys have a great respect for each other, don't hesitate to, you know, send that email, send that text, make that phone call for something that you need. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you, like I said, if you're not somebody out here that's using people, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I really don't see nothing wrong with, you know, reaching out to your friends and your associates. You know what I'm saying? Use it as leverage. There's nothing wrong with that. So that was it. That was my story time. I thought about that, and I was like, yo, like, that's wild. Like, how those opportunities came up, and people that I knew, my relationships were able to come through for me in a huge way. So that's it, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. This is my, y'all, you know how it is when you wait all day to eat and then you get full really fast. I am so full, but this was really, really good. So if you want the recipe, it is at the end of the video. It's going to be a pretty quick recipe for the most part. Again, I actually threw these mushrooms in the oven, but you can fry them or however you want to do it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if y'all didn't get a chance to hang out with me and Bae, go ahead and run the previous lives back. There are 2 of them. All right. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Be good to yourself. Peace. This is a mixture that I'll be using to dip the oyster mushrooms in before I bake them. This is panko crumbs, hemp seed, and also cornmeal. And I seasoned it with pink Himalayan salt, jalapeno garlic pepper, smoked paprika, and you can also season it whatever you like. Your go-to seasonings are. So I made sure that the mushrooms were a little bit moist so that it would take the coating. Now you can dab a little water if you'd like to make sure it sticks, but I make sure that all sides were coated. As you can see, I have everything ready to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop this dish in the oven. Now I set my oven, I preheated it to 350, and I put it in the oven for about, I'm going to say 10 to 12 minutes. Now we know all ovens are different, so just keep a close eye on the mushrooms. This is the mushrooms fresh out of the oven. I was really surprised at how crispy it came out. It had a nice crunch to it, but you can also deep fry it, whichever you prefer. I just wanted to try something a little bit different. Now let's move on to the sauce. So these are all the ingredients that I used for the po' boy. As you can see, everything there. Instead of Miracle Whip, you can use mayonnaise. You can switch anything out that you see fit. I will put the measurements in the description box below as best as I can. Now it's time to assemble our sandwich. Tomatoes, spring mix, soft baguette. We got our sauce, pickles, and we have our baked oyster mushrooms. Again, you can fry them if you'd like to. Now it's time to go ahead and put this bad boy together, and you'll see that in the next frame. This is the finished product. This is what it looks like. Everything assembled. I put sauce on both sides of the bread. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I had salt and vinegar chips, but this had a nice crunch to it. I was completely satisfied with that. I think you should give it a try. It's a great alternative, to be honest with you. So if you try it, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.